Have you ever felt like the minimum wage was designed to keep you busy, but never free? In America, millions of people work long hours, living paycheck to paycheck, convinced that financial freedom is a dream reserved for the lucky few. But Warren Buffett, one of the richest men on earth, started with almost nothing. No inheritance, no privilege, just discipline and a vision that most people never see. He often says, "You don't need to be a genius to get rich. You just need to be patient." The gap between the poor and the wealthy isn't about intelligence, it's about mindset. The poor see money as something to spend, while the rich see it as a tool. If you learn to make your money work for you, even on minimum wage, you can build the foundation of wealth. Most people believe you can't save when you earn little, but that's a lie that keeps millions trapped. The problem isn't your paycheck, it's what you do with it. Imagine earning $2,000 a month and deciding to invest just $50. That may sound like nothing, but if you invest it consistently in a simple index fund that earns 8% a year, saving is an ET about waiting until you have extra money. It's about deciding that you will always keep something for your future. If you wait for the right time, it'll never come. The dollar you save today is worth more than 10 you promised to save later. Buffett understood this early. At age 11, he bought his first stock, not because he had much, but because he understood that time is the most powerful partner in wealth creation. Every month that you delay is a month you lose in compounding. And in this game, time is everything. Knowledge is the second most powerful investment you can make. Buffett reads for hours every day because he knows that information compounds just like money does. If you spent just 1 hour a day learning about personal finance, investing, or business, you accumulate more than 365 hours of knowledge in a year, the equivalent of over 2 full weeks of focused learning. In 5 years, that's more than 1,800 hours, or half a work year dedicated entirely to mastering money. Knowledge doesn't just inform you, it transforms how you think, spend, and invest. Time, when used wisely, is a multiplier. Everyone has the same 24 hours, but not everyone uses them the same way. Some trade their hours for wages, while others trade their hours for growth. Buffett often says, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." Every moment you spend learning and planning pays dividends for decades. The problem is that most people waste time on distractions that give nothing back. If you start valuing your hours as assets instead of entertainment, your future will change faster than you can imagine. Most people work for money, but the wealthy make money work for them. While one group spends their income paying credit card interest, another earns from those same cards through investments. Buffett often reminds us that the key question isn't how much do you make, but how much of what you make do you keep? Every dollar that you spend on something that loses value steals from your future self. But every dollar you invest becomes an employee that works 24/7 without asking for a raise. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. Every time you invest instead of spending, you're rewiring your brain for success. If you can live on 90% of your income and invest the remaining 10%, you're already part of a rare group, the group that understands delayed gratification. That small percentage compounds into opportunity. Buffett's success isn't built on massive wins. It's built on thousands of disciplined decisions made over decades. He says, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." Over time, your discipline becomes your power. The returns might look small at first, but after years of consistency, the results become undeniable. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your investments are earning more than your job. That's the moment financial independence begins, not when you stop working, but when your money starts working harder than you do. The day your income no longer depends on your labor is the day you stop being an employee and start being free. As your investments grow, something amazing happens. Your confidence grows with them. The anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck fades, replaced by the calm of knowing your future is covered. That's what Buffett calls sleeping well money, the kind of money that lets you rest at night because you know it is working for you. And the best part, anyone can reach that level if they're willing to commit early and stay consistent. The real transformation starts when you understand that wealth is not about luck, it's about structure. In the next part, we'll uncover how to multiply your income without working more hours, how to use the same system that makes banks rich to make you rich. What comes next isn't theory, it's a strategy. And once you understand it, you'll never see money the same way again. The moment you realize your paycheck isn't the goal but the fuel, everything changes. Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. That sentence separates the financially free from those trapped in endless labor. The rich don't just earn money, they build systems that generate money without them. While most people spend every dollar they earn, the wealthy treat every dollar as a worker. Each one is hired, trained, and put to work in investments that produce more workers. That's the power of compound growth. Money multiplying silently while the world sleeps. Let's put this into perspective. Suppose you earn $2,000 a month and decide to invest $150 into an index fund that tracks the S&P 500, averaging an annual return of 8%. The key isn't working harder, it's working smarter. Most Americans have only one source of income, their job. The wealthy, however, have multiple streams. Not because they work multiple jobs, but because they've built multiple systems. One stream could be investments, another rental income, another dividends. Buffett's genius was in turning simplicity into strategy. He didn't chase quick profits, he focused on consistent returns. That's why his wealth expanded even when the market slowed, because his money was constantly working, whether he was or not. Most people lose because they try to get rich fast. They jump into risky ventures, get burned, and swear off investing. Buffett warns, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. In America, people chase crypto trends, flipping houses or day trading, but the real winners are those who stay calm and consistent. Wealth is like growing a tree. You can't force it to bloom overnight. But if you water it daily, it will grow beyond what you ever imagined. But to make your money work, you must first protect it from the greatest wealth killer, debt. Every dollar in high-interest debt is a dollar that can't compound for you. Credit cards in the US often charge 25 to 30% interest. If you owe $5,000 and only make minimum payments, it could take decades to clear and cost over $15,000 in total. Buffett says, debt is the financial version of quicksand. The banks profit from your impatience. The moment you flip the script and start investing instead of borrowing, you move from being a customer to being the bank. If you're buried in debt, start small. Pay off the smallest debts first. It builds momentum and confidence. Every balance you eliminate frees up cash to invest. Buffett understands that money and psychology are deeply connected. Once you start winning small financial battles, your mindset changes forever. You stop seeing money as a source of stress and start seeing it as a tool for freedom. Wealth doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins in your mind. Now here's the principle that most people ignore: living below your means. Automate your wealth. Set your investments to run automatically every month so you never have to rely on willpower. Wealth isn't built on motivation. It's built on systems. If you invest $150 monthly without fail, in 20 years you'll have over $88,000, as we saw before. Add another $50 and the total jumps past $117,000. The habit is more important than the amount. Buffett says, the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Make saving and investing one of those habits. As your money starts to grow, so does your freedom. The anxiety that used to follow every bill slowly disappears. you realize that true wealth isn't about luxury, it's about peace. Buffett defines success not by what you own, but by how calmly you sleep at night. When your money works for you, your time becomes your own. You can think, plan, dream, and most importantly, choose. And that's where we're headed next. In the following part, you'll discover how financial intelligence, the knowledge of how money truly moves, can transform your paycheck into power. The next step isn't just about saving or investing, it's about thinking like the wealthy. Once you see money through their eyes, you'll never go back to the old way of living. Real wealth begins when you understand that money is a result, not the cause. Warren Buffett often says, "The more you learn, the more you earn." In the US, millions of people work hard, yet few move forward financially, not because they lack effort, but because they lack a plan. The difference between an employee and an investor isn't income, it's perspective. One asks, "How much do I make?" The other asks, "How much can I make this dollar grow?" That mental shift is where financial intelligence is born. When you stop thinking about working for money and start thinking about making money work for you, you unlock the first door to freedom. Financial intelligence isn't a T about knowing everything, it's S about mastering the basics that 90% of people ignore. Most Americans don't track their spending, don't invest early, and don't understand how compound growth works. But Buffett built an empire by focusing on simple math. Let S say you earn $2,500 a month and manage to save $250. One of the most powerful ideas Buffett teaches is leverage without risk. In other words, using knowledge and capital to multiply results. In America, leverage isn't about borrowing, it's about optimizing what you already have. For example, if you invest $200 a month into a Roth IRA or 401k and your employer matches half, that's a 50% instant return before your money even hits the market. No stock, no fund, no real estate can beat that. Buffett calls this free money, and yet millions of employees leave it untouched. Financial ignorance is expensive, but education pays for itself 1,000 times over. But financial intelligence goes beyond investing. It's about self-control. The biggest expense in most households isn't rent or taxes. It's lifestyle inflation. Every time income increases, so do expenses. Buffett says, if you buy things you don't need, soon you'll have to sell things you need. Living below your means isn't deprivation, it's leverage. If you earn $3,000 a month and live comfortably on $2,500, the remaining $500 can build a future. But if you spend $200 trying to look successful, you're buying the illusion of wealth while selling your freedom. Patience is another skill most people underestimate. Buffett calls it the invisible wealth builder. While others chase excitement, he waits for the right moment, sometimes years. He once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." It's not the market's ups and downs that destroy wealth, it's emotional reactions. Smart investors don't panic, they plan. They know that time, not timing, creates fortune. This calm, long-term mindset can turn even small, consistent investments into life-changing results. Another fundamental principle Buffett follows is the concept of a margin of safety. In personal finance, that means having an emergency fund. If your expenses are $2,000 per month, saving at least $6,000 as a cushion protects you from debt when life happens. Without it, one emergency, a broken car, a medical bill, a lost job, can wipe out years of progress. Buffett's rule is simple: never risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. A financial safety net isn't optional. It's freedom insurance, but building wealth isn't just about avoiding mistakes, it's about spotting opportunities. Buffett made billions by buying undervalued assets, great companies temporarily out of favor. You can do the same with your own money. Instead of chasing the latest iPhone, buy Apple stock. Instead of financing a car, invest in companies that make them. Consumers focus on pleasure. Investors focus on value. One day, the companies you invest in will pay you dividends from the products others can't stop buying. Purpose gives money direction. Buffett doesn't invest just for profit. He invests in things he understands and believes in. That's why his wealth continues to grow even when the market shifts. The same rule applies to you. Don T. Invest where you Don T. see the purpose. Whether it's stocks, real estate, or a business, the best investments are the ones that align with your values and vision. Money without purpose disappears. Money with intention multiplies. True success isn't measured by how much money you make, but by how much time your money buys. The richest person isn't the one with the biggest bank account, but the one who controls their schedule. Buffett defines wealth as the ability to do what you love, when you want, with whom you want. That's freedom, not more hours, but more choices. And that freedom becomes real when you start playing the same game the rich do, using the financial system for your benefit. In the next part, you'll learn how to use the very tools that make banks and corporations wealthy: interest, debt, and time. But this time they'll work for you. The knowledge ahead will completely change how you see the financial world and your place in it. Most people believe the financial system is rigged against them, but Warren Buffett says the stock market and the economy are not designed to hurt or help anyone. They reward those who understand how they work. The truth is, the system isn't evil or benevolent, it's neutral. It simply transfers money from those who don't know the rules to those who do. Every bank, every credit card, every loan is part of a machine that thrives on one principle: patience earns and impatience pays. Once you understand that, you can stop being a customer and start acting like an owner. The game doesn't change. Only your position on the board does. Take a simple example. If you keep $1,000 in a checking account, it earns almost nothing. But your bank doesn't let that money sit idle. It lends it out at 20–25% interest on credit cards or personal loans, making hundreds from your deposit while you earn pennies. The bank isn't cheating you. It's just playing smarter. You can do the same. Instead of leaving your money in a low-yield account, move it to a high-yield savings account paying 4–5% annually, or invest it in a bond ETF with similar returns. You won't beat inflation overnight, but you'll step onto the right side of the system, the side that collects interest instead of paying it. And you don't need thousands to begin. In the US, you can start investing with as little as $50 through fractional shares or automatic investment apps. The point isn't the amount, it's the behavior. Every dollar you put to work is a dollar that stops working against you. Buffett started investing small sums in high school, but what made him wealthy wasn't the money itself, it was his consistency. The earlier you start, the longer your money has to compound. In this system, time isn't just money, it's leverage. The financial system also offers invisible tools that the rich use quietly: dividends and compound interest. Buffett loves businesses that generate steady cash flow, even if growth is slow. He knows the secret isn't hitting home runs, but never striking out. If you invest $200 a month in a dividend-paying index fund that averages 8% annual growth, after 20 years, you'll have nearly $120,000, and that fund could be paying you $400, $500 a month in dividends. The wealthy call this sleep money, income that arrives whether you were working or not. It's not luck, it's math plus patience. But while the system rewards understanding, it punishes ignorance. Marketing convinces millions that more credit equals more opportunity. In reality, more credit often means more chains. Buffett still lives in the same modest Omaha house he bought in 1958. He understands what few people do. Every dollar you don't spend is a soldier that can fight for your financial freedom. Every debt you take on is a soldier you surrender to the system. When you live below your means, you're not restricting yourself, you're reclaiming control. One of Buffett's simplest but most effective strategies is automation. Wealth doesn't grow from motivation, it grows from systems. If you automate your savings or investments, you remove emotion from the process. Set up a recurring monthly transfer into your Roth IRA, 401k, or brokerage account. Another secret the rich understand is that knowledge compounds just like money. Buffett spends 80% of his day reading financial reports, market trends, and company statements. Most people spend that same time worrying about bills. The truth is, the more you learn, the more the system starts to favor you. In the US, understanding how taxes, index funds, or credit scores work can save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. The wealthy don't play harder. They play smarter because they study the rules before stepping onto the field. The financial system is also a mirror. It reflects your habits back to you. If you're impulsive, it punishes you with debt. If you're disciplined, it rewards you with growth. When markets fall, the fearful sell and the patient buy. Buffett never panics. He prepares. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful, he says. That's how he bought undervalued companies while others were running away. If you can stay calm when others lose their heads, you'll always come out ahead because wealth flows to those who keep theirs. Eventually, you'll reach a point where you don't just participate in the system, you create your own. Buffett built Berkshire Hathaway not by chasing profits, but by owning assets that produce consistent cash flow. You can do the same on a smaller scale. When your savings generate returns, when your dividends fund more investments, when your knowledge earns you new opportunities, when you stop working for money and make the system work for you. In the next and final part, we'll uncover how the wealthy create streams of income that grow even when they were not watching. Systems that run on autopilot while they live life on their terms. You'll learn how to build those streams yourself, starting small, and how the invisible power of time can turn ordinary income into extraordinary freedom. Most people think that to get rich, you need to work harder. But Warren Buffett often says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. True wealth doesn't come from longer hours. It comes from smarter systems. The goal isn't to earn more by working more. It's to earn even when you stop working. Financial freedom begins when your money stops depending on your time and starts growing on its own. This isn't a fantasy reserved for millionaires. It is a mindset and a method available to anyone willing to commit. Let's make it real. If you invest $200 per month in a dividend-paying ETF that yields around 8% annually, in 20 years you'll have roughly $118,000. And it could pay you about $400 per month in dividends. That's money that keeps flowing, even if you take a break, travel, or rest. And if you reinvest those dividends instead of spending them, your wealth will snowball to over $240,000 in the same time frame. Buffett calls this the snowball effect of wealth. Small actions that, when left untouched, grow beyond imagination. It's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. But investing isn't the only way to earn while you sleep. Knowledge and creativity can also become assets. In the US, people are turning their skills into online courses, ebooks, podcasts, and digital products that continue to sell long after the work is done. Imagine spending 6 months creating a course that earns just $200 a month. That is $2,400 a year, completely passive. Over time, you could create multiple income streams. Buffett's philosophy applies here too. Build systems once that continue to pay you forever. Your ideas can be just as powerful as your dollars if you learn to turn them into assets. The secret to scaling your wealth is reinvesting your gains. The poor spend what they earn, the rich reinvest it. Every dollar you reinvest becomes a silent employee that never stops working. If your investments bring in $500 a month and you keep reinvesting for 10 years, you'll have over $100,000 more than if you'd spent it. Buffett never touches his core capital. He lives off the returns. That's the essence of financial maturity, letting your money breed before you spend its offspring. The average worker sees money as a reward. The wealthy see it as a tool. That difference changes everything. Instead of asking, "What can I buy with this?" start asking, "What can this buy me later?" Every dollar saved today is a piece of your future freedom. If you make $4,000 a month and invest just $400 at 8% growth, you'll have $600,000 in 30 years. That's not magic, that's math. The earlier you start, the more time does the heavy lifting for you. The only thing standing between most people and wealth is consistency. You don't need a fortune to begin, you need a plan. If you invest 10 a day, the cost of a coffee. True financial freedom isn't about having more, it's about needing less. Buffett, despite his billions, still lives in the same Omaha home he bought for $31,500 in 1958. He drives himself to work and eats breakfast at McDonald's. He understands something most people miss. Wealth isn't what you spend, it's what you keep. Every dollar you don't waste on appearances becomes a soldier fighting for your independence. The real luxury isn't a mansion or a car. It's waking up without worry. When your investments and systems start paying for your lifestyle, something shifts inside you. Stress turns into stability. Anxiety becomes anticipation. The rat race fades away. This is when you realize that money was never the goal. It was the tool to buy back your time. Buffett defines success not by how much he earns, but by how he spends his day. "I measure success by how many people I love me back," he says. And that's what wealth is ultimately about. Freedom to live meaningfully, not endlessly working for survival. Here is the final truth. The minimum wage was never your ceiling. It was your training ground. Every challenge you face today is preparing you for a wealthier tomorrow. The goal isn't to escape work. It's to build something that works for you. Wealth is not a prize, it's a process. And the process starts with one decision: to take control of your money before someone else does. Today, you have that choice. You can keep trading your time for dollars, or you can start building a system that multiplies those dollars while you rest. You don't need permission, you don't need perfection, you just need to begin. Because the best time to plant your financial freedom was 20 years ago. And the second best time is right now. So, if this message resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because real wealth isn't about keeping secrets, it's about spreading freedom. This is your moment to start living like Warren Buffett teaches, letting your money work as hard for you as you've worked for it.